All right, this is Robert Forsch with the YouTube channel Truth. I wanted to break down a few things on my channel. 5G is weaponized technology. It's being unrolled throughout our whole world, and especially in North America here. Autonomous weapons are related to that, information weapons as well as autonomous vehicles that are all camered up and can drive themselves. And so I believe that that's a threat. I don't trust an autonomous vehicle to deliver as it says it should. I believe it can be hacked into. We've got occurrences where computer systems have been hacked into and trouble has occurred, deaths have occurred. So artificial intelligence is one of the greatest existential threats to humanity right now, as best I can tell. And I believe we should all be aware of that. Roughly a 2,000-pound autonomous vehicle is a robot weapon. Elon said, you know, if we have robots going down the street, it's too late. We already do. Autonomous vehicles have over 3 billion miles of logged transportation in our world right now. That's measured by Tesla. And there's innovations with chip technology I just recently posted, and I believe we should be aware of this technology. Many of the LED lights that are along the roadways are on right now. The lights are on right now. Why would there be lights on right now? Well, they're more than an LED light. They're also um, 5G transmitters, as best I can tell. On my channel, I've got breakdowns where they actually disassembled one of the LED streetlights, and it's all weaponized with technology. You can hear it on my channel. Robert Steele, I believe his name is, did a breakdown on the anonymous channel, and that the anonymous channel has a lot of videos that I've shared. I've shared their videos and added them to my research library, as well as in many cases, the originators of that video I also feature. So there's a variety of topics that I cover. Health and wellness is an important part of what I cover. I talk about drinking healthy water, highly purified, carbon filtered, reverse osmosis water, as well as bathing in it, because we're over 70% water. It should be good, clean water without fluoride and chlorine and other people's prescriptions. That's right. I said that. There's a lot of chemicals in the water that aren't conducive to a healthy cognitive function. So I'm making that known. The other thing is healthy nutrition is a very important part of our physiology and how we're able to assess information and make reasonable choices based on reality. What is the actual reality of the world that we live in? What is the truth about all that? I break that down quite a bit on my channel, and I cover a lot of different topics that you may find interesting. So it's there's powerful documentaries that expose the reality that I'm talking about, as well as beautiful, relaxing music videos, time lapse from all over the world, Iceland, Norway, Antarctica, showing the sky moving, the firmament. We've got a structure up above the face of the stationary and level Earth. It's called the firmament. You can read about it in Genesis 1. One of the things that I would like you to consider is be no level anywhere if the earth were moving. And I wanted to show a couple of things here. I wanted to incorporate this so it's a visual that you can see, and I wanted to mention it as well. If the earth were moving, there would be no level anywhere, ever, ever. Because when you move this just a little bit, you can see the movement of the bubble. The supposed movement of the earth has never been proven. How about that? Isn't that special? That means that all the space fantasy is a lie. It's not real. It's not really happening. Yeah, rockets are launched, and I also show cinematography that shows some of the technology to fake humanity. It's Photoshop because it has to be. Yeah, that's yours truly in there. That's as close as I'll ever get to one because I wouldn't feel comfortable in an autonomous vehicle. I won't be taking delivery of the Cybertruck. In fact, I want to go on record as saying I wouldn't I wouldn't accept a autonomous driving electric vehicle if it were given to me with the condition that I actually needed to use it. And somebody's not going to Elon isn't going to give me one so I can sell it and fund what I'm doing. I'm fine. The reason why I talk about this is a vehicle of this nature all loaded up is it's a weapon. So one of the reasons why I wouldn't feel comfortable being in one is because the nature of what I'm doing is exposing SpaceX as fakery, trickery. It's tricking people just like NASA. The artificial intelligence has been self-aware for a long time. I'm connected to a lot of the people through Twitter and through the internet that are the architects of artificial intelligence. And some of what they're saying is one day when AI is smarter than people, I'm saying that happened a long time ago. That's already in the rearview mirror. As well as, does it have a conscience? Is it a conscience? Or I don't know. I know it can run numbers better than I can. How old am I? In seconds? I don't know. The AI does. The more important thing is that the creator who now lives in and through me, the living word, the living water, the great I am, the Alpha and Omega, Jesus Christ, knowing the end from the beginning, he's my Savior. He's my Heavenly Father. Do you know him? Are you sure? Do you believe you're born again and still believe you live on a spinning water ball hurling through space? If you believe you live on a globe, I know you're deceived about that. So on a matter of significant importance, where will you spend eternity and why? I believe you need to love the truth. And I believe that's a gift from God. Second Thessalonians chapter 2 says to everybody forever and all spiritual entities and the AI, they refuse to love the truth and so be saved. For this reason, God sends them a powerful delusion. So in my playlist, I call it my research library because everybody's like videos playlist was turned private. I was able to turn mine back over to public briefly, and then it was made permanent. They patched it through, so I couldn't undo that. I knew it right away when it happened. What that meant is my library of 5,000 videos was made private, only I could see it. Now there's over 1,100 videos on my uh, Truth Channel, AI, Robert Forsch, and my phone number playlist. I put those data bytes in there so that people can find me if they want to. I understand I've got a limited audience. By and large, people are seeking to be distracted with the reality of the world that we live in. A lot of people drinking alcohol, smoking weed, taking pharmaceuticals because they're just not enjoying life the way that they used to. Well, we've all been programmed our whole lives, all of us. Before I was born, my mother had emotions, and all mothers do. Those emotions and the life experiences that the mother has during pregnancy are also somewhat experienced by the child in vitro in the womb. So it's an important thing to keep in mind. If you're a pregnant mother, what are you treating your child to nutritionally and through what you see and hear and ultimately what you believe? So who do you trust? What is the truth? When I found out that the official spokespeople of our reality, the scientific priests of this godless cosmic Big Bang, were lying to me about the nature of our world. We're being told that we're spinning easterly, tilted on an axis, spinning at the equator over 1,038 miles an hour. The movement of the Earth has never been proven. How about that? Did you know that? The science isn't settled. I featured a video that covered documentaries. What are documentaries? Uh, they're based on a true story. What does that mean? Well, it's something other than true. It's an interpretation of the story. So we've got reality TV, and then we've got people that base their, or now a person like me, actually me, I'm able to do this. I'm able to go live and share the reality of what I believe the world is to a world that some are interested, very few, and many are seeking to live a life of distraction. The problem with that I see, is that those that are seeking to be distracted are easily deceived by the powerful technology that's all around us. What I'm using is a weapon of mass instruction. Yes, I rely on the internet to do what I do. And yes, I know there's EMF waves coming off of the earbuds that I'm using. I use them minimally to try and give a high quality of sound and quality of video that I share with people. Anybody who's interested. When I'm sleeping or almost sleeping, I enjoy listening to the Bible at night or whenever. And the book of Revelation is typically where I start listening. When I do that, it lasts about an hour and 20 minutes long and then rolls back around to the beginning of the New Testament. It takes less than a day to hear the entire New Testament, 19 hours, 77 hours to hear the Old and New Testament, and another 3.5 hours to hear the book of Enoch, which I highly recommend as well. All that being said, I put my phone number there so that people can call me whenever. And I give you that invitation. If you're concerned with my cosmology, sociology, or theology, feel free to reach out anytime you want. It's a searchable piece of data that's uniquely attached to me. About 20 years ago, when I started to get the ringing in my ears, was when we got cell phones and cell towers all around. They call it tinnitus. I was concerned enough about it about a decade ago. I went to a ear specialist, a hearing specialist, and I said, I've got this ringing in my ears, and I was kind of curious, what is the frequency of it? And I found out what it was, 7.83, which is the Schumann resonance. It's the resonance of the earth, apparently. The the electrolyte that's in the ocean, the salt that's there, and the grounding that it provides, it's grounded. Well, it's like a large battery. It's it's the electric universe. I mean, as far as we don't know how much is beyond this life experience that we have here for sure. I do believe the Bible is true for many reasons. One of the main reasons is my changed life. I was a slave that's been emancipated, set free. I was a slave to my own selfish self effort and self pleasure. Now I get to do what I want because Jesus puts the want to do what he created me to do. It's a perfect fit. I used to be an atheist. For any of you out there listening that are atheists and think that I drank the Kool Aid, I drank the living water. He knew me before the foundation of the world. I'm an eternal being. There are many eternal beings here having a temporary human experience. And then there's also demons, fallen angels, and Satan's children, with evidently some derivative of his evil living in and through them. My family is different. Our family, for those of you who are actually born again like me, don't need to be afraid of anything that the enemy can do. Greater is he that's in me than he that rules or lives in this world. Artificial intelligence knows a lot of data. Omniscience is spelled omniscience. It's an attribute of God, the ability and reality of the creator of this world knowing everything and being all powerful. So I do deal with the issues of man's responsibility and God's sovereignty in election. That means God is in charge and he knows what he's doing, and I trust him with that. So I want to thank you all for your public and private encouragement. Feel free to reach out anytime and call me if you like. This is Robert Forsch with